Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
They said, this was the title of their article, Sound of Freedom is a superhero movie for dads with brainworms. Now, Rolling Stone is also the magazine that praised the Cutie movie. Remember that?
Oh, wow. Yo, children are getting harmed. Why are we... This is not a political thing. This is just right or wrong.
The Sound of Freedom. This movie is getting a lot of attention. First of all, the big news with Sound of Freedom, if you haven't heard about it, it is a movie about trafficking of young people.
Yeah.
And it's to raise awareness of the situation. It's based on a true story of a guy named Tim Ballard who went in and he's actually saved over thousands of kids. But the movie was about him saving a handful of them, specifically 2 of them. And and it's been getting some pushback from some interesting places.
Yeah.
So essentially, the big news was it beat Indiana Jones, the new Indiana Jones 5.
It was 4, right?
5. Crystal Skull was 4.
Oh, okay, 5, yeah.
So 5. It beat Indiana Jones 5, which is
huge,
embarrassing
for an independent movie. Like for a movie that's like not made at home, but just like a movie that's like really low budgeted compared to Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I think it was like
budget movie.
14 million or something like that was the budget for this, and Indiana Jones was like 100 and something, 50, 150.
Yeah.
So it's been interesting to see, like, why is this happening? Why has there been seeming like a backlash to this?
Yeah.
Right? So the big news was Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
They said, this was the title of their article, Sound of Freedom is a superhero movie for dads with brainworms. Now, Rolling Stone is also the magazine that praised the Cutie movie. Remember that?
Oh, wow.
Cutie movie was...
Netflix.
I guess you could say similar topic, but it was raw. Like I saw some of the promo stuff. I couldn't watch it, but it's basically like little girls sexualized, like 100%.
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting about this movie is they tiptoe down the road of what it would look like in these situations, but they pull back from showing you like,
oh, rich people and all that stuff.
Yeah, they pull back from showing you anything graphic, but it's still pretty disturbing. It's still, I don't want to watch this. You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of feeling you get watching it. But I think for a good purpose. Like it was good to see like how serious this could be.
Yeah.
Of course, it's a movie. It's not all like accurate, but it was still good to remind you like this is real. This is really happening.
Yeah.
These are real children. What if it was your child? That's the goal of the movie, right?
Yeah.
So again, of course, the usual suspects, CNN, kind of bashed it. So basically, what they're trying to say is this is like a Q people.
Yeah, QAnon.
They're saying that this is related to that, and it's like a dog whistle to those people, and they're trying to dismiss it. As this was actually a Fox movie originally, Fox Searchlight, I think the brand, and of course that got bought by Disney.
Yeah.
And Disney didn't want nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
They didn't put it out.
Yeah.
So Angel Studios picked it up.
Yeah.
And they put it out.
Yeah.
Of course.
And you're doing something cool that I think you're of course talking about.
Yeah, so I'm going to talk about that.
It's like just a pay it forward type of model that I haven't seen.
Yeah, we'll talk about that because I'm sure Hollywood is going to steal this because it's genius.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'll talk about that at the end. But so first of all, why didn't Disney? Because again, didn't Disney put out Indiana Jones?
I think so. Yeah.
And they had this.
Yeah.
And they could have put this out. I will admit that I think part of the reason this is doing so well is because Disney and everybody shut their doors to it. I think that's fueling the energy for it. So I don't know if they would have just put it out naturally, it would have done so well. But of course, a lot of people are being like, Hollywood is shutting this thing down. So
exposing them.
So I want to ask in the poll, if Crispy's in there, I want to ask you guys watching live, do you think Hollywood really shut this down? Do you think that's part of a conspiracy? Do you think Hollywood full of pedophiles and they wanted to squash this because they want to cover what they're doing?
So based off what you saw of the movie, do you feel like Rolling Stone got it right with the conversation and even the people saying the QAnon stuff, or is it just a movie about a rescue mission about rescuing kids out of sex trafficking?
No, they did not get it right. The movie is just about a rescue mission for getting kids. There's no hints at Republican, right-wing, conspiracy, none of that. It doesn't.
It's just Taken for kids, almost.
Taken is more so. It's about the same subject.
Yeah.
But it's just a setup for Liam Neeson to start killing people.
Yeah.
There's none of that kind of stuff in it. It's really all about that subject.
Gotcha.
Versus Taken is like that's the background of a fight action movie. That's not what this is.
Got you. Okay.
This is 100% focused on the actual subject
of sex trafficking.
Yeah. And what's interesting is, have you heard of the Hero's Journey?
No.
Hero's Journey is Dan Harmon, the guy who makes Rick and Morty and Community and all that. He has this Hero's Journey circle. What's interesting about this movie, and it's spoiler, can you spoil it? But what's interesting about this is you would think the hero's journey is for the main character.
Yeah.
But it's really for the kids.
Yeah.
You see the hero's journey for the kids and how they get through this. It was really well done, man. Like it was shot well, acted well. Jim Caviezel is really good at giving that sad puppy dog, but I'll still kill you type face. Like he did a really good job at that. I don't know. It was nothing negative I could say about the movie itself.
I think the question now goes back to then what are these other people hiding and what are they trying to stop this movie? Because I've seen stuff online about it where people were saying I went to go buy a ticket and they saying the movie theater is messed up, or they buy a ticket or it's sold out already, or all this other stuff, and just having those questions about it, like why would all that stuff happen to what's so impactful about this movie that people are having those kind of conversations, like conspiracy stuff and all this other stuff? I'm just confused. If it's a movie about, real quick, I said somebody talk about this and he said sex trafficking should be something everybody should be aware of, concerned about. Yo, children are getting harmed. Why are we? This is not a political thing. This is just right or wrong.
Okay, this is why. The reason why it is getting politicized by a certain group of people is because the people involved, Tim Ballard, Jim Caviezel,
Mel Gibson, I think,
they have been linked to the Anons in various ways. Now, they claim that they have nothing to do with them, but I think they've spoken at some Anon-friendly things. And, of course, Tim does a lot of Fox News appearances. That's where it gets politicized, because if you're trying to do this, there's a friendlier audience to this information than another audience. So, of course, you're going to go to the friendly audience to get the message out. So once you get associated with the Fox News ecosystem, then you're going to be placed in a bucket of those guys over there. So I think that's a mistake for this in particular. This is near and dear to our hearts, I believe, because we actually started a nonprofit called Streetlights that was about this, about bringing awareness to this. So this has nothing to do with political parties. Where it becomes political is the Anons are Looney Tunes, and they do bring this issue into their core beliefs, and then they use it to witch hunt certain people they don't like. So that's bad. But it doesn't mean that the issue isn't important and needs to be focused on and addressed by every political person, right? No matter where you fit, everybody should be like, we got to stamp this out, because kids, man, it's just something about that. It's just there's
that's crazy.
There's nothing to say about that. You got to stop that.
I think that the sad part about it is, to me, you look guilty if you like going against the movie. To me, like to me, it's just like you. Like we've had those conversations, and shout out to everybody that was here the weeks I was out, because they did a great job, from Jay Nibs to the gentleman, everybody who was here. But just talking about those conversations, there's something dark in Hollywood. There's something dark in these places where people are taking children, or people are doing stuff to other people that we just don't know about. And we call it far-fetched because we don't have that quote-unquote spiritual eye to see it, or we don't have that discernment to see it, or you know what I'm saying? Or we just don't think somebody like, you put in your mind, like, we know such and such is a quote-unquote sinner. You know what I'm saying? He say foul stuff in his music or movies or whatever, but he ain't harming children. He ain't doing this to women. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think where we lose the thread, is when we say in Hollywood, on the left, the elites.
Yeah.
This is a darkness that exists everywhere.
Yeah.
This is not a darkness that is limited to a group of people.
Yeah.
And to rail against that group of people, you guys. This is a darkness that exists everywhere. It is weird that they seem to not be as concerned about it.
Yeah.
Which says a lot. But it doesn't mean that it's exclusive to them.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So we have to be careful with that. This is a really big problem, and people you would never suspect have this sickness in them, and they're living in a world, especially think about this particular sickness. You're living in a world where every other sickness is being praised, right?
Yeah.
Is being praised, and you're like, y'all get to do that and we can't do this?
They say their time coming soon, Sean.
That's what I think. That's what I think is happening beneath the scenes. Why the numbers are rising so much, because there is this kind of like acceptance of sin happening. Yeah. So this, why not us? Why not us?
It is an organization out there. I ain't gonna say the name of the organization, but it is such an organization that have an affinity for adult to kid love,
and they're trying to make it normal.
Yeah.
So this is not. Yeah, this is real. This is actually happening.
Yeah. But I think for them, they're like, we're not trying to. That's horrible. We're not trying to traffic them. We're trying to unfortunately love them. That's crazy. That's crazy.
This is if this it's not it cannot be possible. But if this becomes normalized,
you got something. You got to worry about some dude coming up to your kid saying, "What's up?"
It cannot be possible. But I think a lot of people have said that in the past, and things are way different.
I'll say this about the Roman Empire. I remember that when the Roman Empire started getting eventually like very sexual, when they started working with kids, that's when that jink just it's tumbling down.
I think the lesson is God is patient.
Yeah.
Until you start messing with kids.
Yeah.
The time he's gotten kind of fussy in the Bible is when you start talking like, don't mess with these.
Yeah.
Don't mess with them.
Yeah.
So I think that's where if we're getting anywhere near that, then we've already been gone too far, but no, we're getting way too far.
I think the reason why everybody else, I like how we skating. I think why everybody else is getting their way is because it's adult to adult.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't care. You be like, you're an adult. It's two adults. I don't agree with it, but it's two adults. It's whatever. But when it gets to adults because I think how it's going to go is adult kids, and then animals, then other stuff, and it's gonna happen. Like I think we're thinking like, yo, it's never gonna happen, and I'm thinking there's people fighting
it's
for it.
It's funny that you said animals last, because people care more about animals than they do about children. Like animals is eventually. It's like, what?
I saw a report recently that somebody went to jail because they did something with their cat or something like that. Oh my
god! All right,
it's crazy out here, bro.
So I'll just say this: the movie is good. Here's what we hinted at earlier. The reason why this is happening, the reason why this is blowing up the way it is because you can get free tickets to this movie right now.
Yeah.
When I went into the theater, I'm thinking this is a low-budget movie. I know it's getting a little buzz. Every time I go to the local theater near me, I'm talking about NCG, Ackworth.
Oh, wow.
Nobody goes there. The parking lot is empty.
Dang.
I go there just so I could just get in and out. No, it was packed in there.
Oh, yeah.
It was packed.
It was like a lot of. Remember that year that the Chick-fil-A was getting backlash from the people, and then people started supporting? It's probably like doing something like
There's
that.
There's an army rising up. Like Christians get mad when they're taking away their stuff. But it was a lot of older people. Lot of older people. Yeah. But it was packed. And I was like, what is going on here? Yeah. But part of the reason is what they set up, Angel Studios set up, is that once you watch the movie, at the end of the movie, 3 minutes into the credits, Jim Caviezel comes back on and really tells you why this movie is important, why this is important, why this is important. And he says, if you want to pay this forward, pay for a ticket for someone else who can't afford it. And you go to a website, you pay for however many more tickets beyond the one you paid for, and somebody else could go to a different link and they can use a ticket. I used it.
Wow.
I got the free ticket just to see how it worked. And I went, and it's simple. You just fill out the form, get the free ticket link. Literally 2 minutes before I walked in the theater, I was able to use it.
Wow.
So I think even the people who get the free ticket then turn around and say, okay, I'm going to pay for some more. This was important. You know what I'm saying? So there's tons of free tickets available. So we popped the link up on screen if you want to get a free ticket. I use mine through the guy, What Do You Mean?
Yeah.
I use his link.
Yeah.
So you can use this one, and it allows other people. This one allows you to get it for free, but it'll show you when you get there how to pay for other people to see it. And that's how this thing is passing major movies, because it's not just people individually buying a bunch of tickets. It's few people who can afford it buying tickets for other people, and people are using them.
But but also another thing too is, of course, paying it forward, but then also you got to think about it too is like maybe churches are doing it. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, like other believers are like, okay, let's put our money behind this.
It's a great idea, man. It's a great idea. Now, so I'm like, I wonder if Hollywood is going to steal this
and
form.
Hollywood shut down now, so of course that's something to even think about too for other Christian movies. So we're going to talk about that too.
Yeah.
Other Christian movies, could possibly do something right now.
You have to do this.
Yeah.
You have to do this. If your movie has any kind of purpose, mission behind it, you got to attach this format to it because it's an amazing way to get the numbers up on your film and to get the awareness out. It's such a genius way to do that.
Yeah, and you only hear it like when somebody's trying to pay for a meal or something, but you never hear it like in a professional business way to do business.
So I would say this, Tim Ballard is the guy who did this. He literally quit his job to save children. The mission was based on the mission in Colombia. He's an interesting character. He's not a Christian.
Oh, wow.
You would assume he was. He's Mormon. But what he did was really noble, and it's inspiring. So I would just say if you care at all about this, and it's just made me feel guilty that we dropped the ball on this after every single nonprofit we've ever started has gotten stolen from us. So this was another one. And once that happened, I just got so frustrated with it. But we used to really have our feet in this fight, and it just reminded me, man, get back on it.
Or it's some great organizations that you can go check out locally. Because I know my church gives to local sex trafficking ministries and ministries that's in other states as well. So
I know Not For Sale is one that we've done stuff with. So yeah, please support. This issue is really important. Go see the film just to confuse Hollywood a little bit more. Like, what is going on? What's happening? It can't just be the Anons. It can't just be the such and such because I ain't one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we have to, as Christians as a whole, we have to send a clear message. This is not just a fringe group thing. We care about this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As a community, we care about this. So go support it, run the numbers up on it. It's actually really good. It isn't completely clean. I think you would appreciate it because I think it's what you have been calling for where Christian movies aren't just like completely clean. There's a little bit of cursing in it, a little bit of smoking, and there's some stuff in it.
Yeah.
But overall, you get the sense that this is
a movie.
God-focused.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's get back into it. You in the field with the track stars, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner. Oh, was there a poll? Did anybody see a poll?
Oh, yeah. Did you think Hollywood...
What was the results?
It looks like... Let's see. Hold on a second. It looks like 68% said definitely. Do you think Hollywood tried to shut down Sound of Freedom? They said 68% definitely.
Okay. All right. That's pretty definitive. For the ones that don't, I'm curious, what do you think? I'm like that. I'm like conspiracies. But this one, I don't know. It's pretty clear. It's pretty clear. You in the field with the track stars, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Let's go.